around you to please remain seated at all times, keeping all arms, hands, feet, and legs, everything that's on your person, inside of the vehicle. As if anything happens to fall outside of the truck, I am not allowed to stop to pick it up. If you all take a quick look above you, you're going to be able to see the animal spotting guide. That guide is going to help you to identify some of the animals that we may encounter here today. As another helpful hint, try to remember that this is the home of the animals and we are guests visiting, so just try to be as respectful as you can. That means refrain from doing any name-calling, cat-calling, whistling, anything that might be disruptive towards them. Well, we want to entice the animals to get as close as possible to the vehicle, so that way you get some really nice photo opportunities. Speaking of photo opportunities, if you all want to get some photographs here today, I recommend to get your cameras out and ready right now. Put it on a live, sport, or action mode. It's going to be the best way to capture all of the different animals. I unfortunately cannot stop for every single animal that we see here today, and the ones that I do stop for, it's only going to be for about 5 seconds, so please make sure that you all are ready. The first part of our journey here today is going to take us through the Little Atari Forest. Animals that live here like to use their camouflage in the dense vegetation of the forest, so that way they can hide from their predators. Coming up here on the right-hand side, we're going to get an excellent view of a pair of okapi. Okapis are the only living relatives of the giraffe, and we're able to tell because of their skull structure, and they have a long, prehensile tongue, just like a giraffe has. Okapis have about a 13 to 15-inch tongue, and they can lick their own eyes. They're pretty shy and reclusive animals, and not very territorial. Makes the forest an excellent home for them. They're most often to be confused as relatives of zebras because of the stripes that they have on their legs. We're approaching a watering hole on the left-hand side, favorite gathering spot for lots of different animals. And it looks like the trees around the watering hole have been bulldozed. I only know a couple of animals with the amount of strength to be able to bulldoze over some trees. Well, not the correct end we want to see, but there's the butt of a black rhinoceros out on our left-hand side. There are currently less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the wild, as they are unfortunately poached for their horn. A lot of different cultures believe that it has medicinal purposes, but it's actually made out of keratin, just like our hair and our fingernails. If that black rhino was able to turn around for us, we'd be able to notice that it has a pointed upper lip, helps them to browse around here in the forest. Black rhinos typically weigh about 3,000 pounds, and they can charge up to speeds of 35 miles an hour. Coming up here on our right-hand side, we are going to be able to see a couple of greater kudu. Most similarly looking like the North American deer, we're able to tell that these greater kudu are females because they do not have any horns, only the males do. And those horns can reach about 6 feet in length. The greater kudu can also leap about 8 feet high, and that's how they outmaneuver their predators. We're going to be able to see a couple of red-orange coated animals. They are called bongos. Bongos are nicknamed the ghosts of the forest because they are rarely seen. If you take a look at their horns, you notice that they are quite heavy as they tilt backwards, helps them to get through the dense underbush with better ease. Bongos are the largest forest antelope. Each one weighs about 350 pounds once they are fully grown. Alrighty, I'd say we're off to a pretty good start, but we are now going to be making our way out of the forest. And we're going to be making our way over to the Safi River next. Animals in the Safi River thrive in aquatic environments, so if you all take another look at that animal spotting guide, you may want to be mindful of which animals on there are typically found in or around some water. Looks like we're approaching a body of water up ahead on our right-hand side. Let's keep our eyes peeled for any exotic animal activity. Look everyone, there's a Nile hippopotamus inside of the water. Hippos can hold their breath underwater for about 6 to 8 minutes. Please make sure you're remaining seated, please. Please take a seat. Thank you very much.
Sit down, Jay.
There's actually 2 hippos hanging out over here. They can hold their breath underwater for about 6 to 8 minutes. They do not usually swim, not the best swimmers. Typically find them walking towards the bottom of the water. You usually can find the hippos inside of the water during the day, so that way they do not overheat from the sunlight. At night is typically when they come out to eat. They are herbivores. They can consume about 80 to 90 pounds worth of vegetation each and every day. Another hippo here on our left-hand side. This one is accompanied by a couple of pink-backed pelicans on top of the little island. They get their pink coloration from mating season, and they are colonial nesters, which means that they can nest up with about 20 to 500 other pelicans. And they have a wingspan of about 7 to 9 feet. They are one of 8 different living species of pelicans. Hippos, just like us humans, are very protective of their young, and they are extremely territorial. Makes them one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. Going to be able to see another hippo up ahead here on our left-hand side.
Up on the tree.
Also on our left-hand side, we are going to be able to see a couple of fearsome Nile crocodile. Crocodile have an extremely powerful bite, capable of crushing the bones of their prey, and their powerful bite also enables them to consume prey much larger than themselves, such as zebra and wildebeest. Their jaws are gentle enough that they can move around their baby eggs. We usually find a mother carrying an egg in her mouth. And crocodiles are ectothermic, which means that they take on the surrounding temperature of their environment. You usually can find the crocodiles opening up their mouth, as that helps to release all of the heat that is trapped inside of their bodies. Crocodiles only have about one full meal each week, but they have been known to go months without eating due to the scarcity of food. That's why they're not moving around a whole lot. They like to try to conserve as much energy as they can. We are now going to be making our way out of the Safi River, and we're going to be heading over to the Savannah next, the longest part of our journey. Savannah is home to some animals that you all may be a little bit more familiar with, such as lions, zebras, giraffes, and elephants.
Oh, everything is freaking out today. Seems like everything is out today.
Here it is, everyone, the Savannah. If there was ever a highway for animals, this would be it, as there are many different types of animals migrating through here each and every year. As beautiful as the Savannah is, it is also extremely fragile. One piece being altered or removed could have detrimental effects on the animals that live here. So we want to try to do everything in our power to keep it intact and whole for the next generation of animals that have yet to come.
Giraffe over there.
Way out in the distance on our right-hand side, we are going to be able to see a couple of Angoli cattle. Hopefully they stay put over there, so that way we can swing around, get a lot closer for some better photo opportunities. The Angoli cattle are one of two domesticated animals that live on this reserve. They were first domesticated by the Watusi tribe, so they're also called Watusi cattle. Next animal, unfortunately, is going to be a little bit tougher to see. If you look laying down inside of the bush, there is a spotted hyena. Hyenas live in a female-dominant hierarchy, with the lowest-ranking female outranking the highest-ranking male. A common misconception about the hyenas is that they are scavengers, but they hunt the majority of the food that they eat. They're actually one of the few carnivores that are able to crush inside a bone to get the bone marrow that is stored inside. The laughter and giggling that the hyenas are known for is how they yield to the dominant hyena. There have been over 11 different vocalizations that the hyenas have to communicate with one another, making them one of the most vocal animals in Africa. Up ahead on the left, we are going to be able to see a Maasai giraffe. A group of giraffes is called a tower, and it makes sense that we call them a tower, as giraffes are the tallest land animal, reaching heights of about 18 to 20 feet, and their long legs allow them to cruise at about a 10-mile-an-hour rate, or they can run anywhere between 30 to 35 miles an hour. Does it look like we're gonna get, oh, nope, there's another one over here as well. Like myself, giraffes spend the majority of their day eating. They have created a unique adaptation. Their tongues are purple, helps to prevent it from getting burnt in the sunlight. And we're able to guesstimate how long a giraffe's tongue is if we look at how long their tail is. And the hair on their tail is a little bit thicker than the hair that we have on our head. It's able to act as a natural fly swatter. It gets rid of all those pesky bugs and insects off of their coat. Over on our left-hand side, we're going to be able to see a couple of smaller tan antelope. They are called springboks. Springbok get their name for their ability to spring 6 feet high, or they can leap 13 feet forward. They could bound this entire truck if they really wanted to. They're also among the top 10 fastest land animals. These little guys can run anywhere between 50 to 60 miles an hour. Springbok are the official animal of South Africa. A lot of sports teams like to use the springbok as their sports logo. We're going to get a closer view of the Angoli cattle coming up here on our right-hand side. We're going to be able to notice how long their horns are. The horns will typically grow to be about 3 to 4 feet in length, but they're mostly hollow with a honeycomb structure on the inside. Let's get an even closer view. But before we get a closer view, if we take a look on top of this hill on the left, we're going to be able to see a female Patterson's eland. Elands are the tallest antelope, with the adult male reaching heights of about 6 to 7 feet at the shoulder. Both the males and the females have spiral horns. That's a female over there. We're going to be able to see the dominant alpha bull here on our right-hand side. This is the male. Notice how long and how thick his horns are. We're going to see a couple of cows up ahead as well. A lot of different African cultures symbolize the Angoli cattle with wealth, so the more that someone has, the wealthier they are. They do not like to use them for poultry. Here's a closer view of a female cow now on the right-hand side as well.
That's pretty close. Oh, wow.
Also hanging out with the Angoli cattle, we're going to be able to see a couple of white bearded wildebeest. Wildebeests are the second largely dense pack mammal in the world. Second only to us humans, of course. When they migrate, they cluster up in groups of about 1.5 million and travel 500 to 1,000 miles. It's the largest migration of any animal on the planet, and it can be viewed from space. It's called the Great Migration. I like the horns on this Angoli cow here on the right. A little bit more curved, shows off some personality. We're going to be able to see a couple more giraffes up ahead on our left-hand side. Remarkably, giraffes only sleep for about 30 minutes out of the day, usually sitting down, never laying down. They never want to become vulnerable to any predators. We'll rarely see a predator attack an adult giraffe though. Since they are so tall and have excellent eyesight, they can spot those predators from far away. They also have a powerful kick that they can use for self-defense. If you all take a look at the pattern on the Maasai giraffe's coat, it looks a little random and irregular, but no two giraffes have the exact same pattern on their coat. It's like how we humans have fingerprints. It does look like we have seen all the different animals that live over here on this side of the savannah, so we're going to make our way towards the other side. Hopefully our luck can continue in finding some more exciting animals. It looks like a couple of trees have been bulldozed over here in this habitat. Let's see if there's any animal activity besides that. Not seeing anything just yet. Also looks like there's a lot of mud over here as well. Leads me to believe that this could be an elephant habitat. Let's take a closer view here on the opening on the right-hand side. It looks like there is some markings on the ground. This definitely is an area for some elephants. Hopefully we can find some up ahead. And we're going to be able to tell if we see an African elephant due to the shape of their ears. Their ears are sort of shaped like the continent of Africa. Unfortunately, the homes of the elephants are being destroyed due to the mining of a mineral called coltan. But we can help the elephants out by recycling our old electronic devices, such as cell phones, tablets, and laptops, as they already contain that mineral coltan. We're now going to be passing by some red clay over here in this area. And red clay is a favorite snack for the elephants, as it does have very valuable nutrients for them. Seems as if some elephants may have been around here recently. If we take a look up ahead on our right-hand side, those look an awful lot like tusk marks. And over here on the left-hand side, I'm pretty confident that these are elephant prints. Look, there is an elephant out there on our left-hand side, everyone. I'll have to pause here. Our view is probably going to get blocked off by the bushes and trees up ahead. Elephants are highly social creatures, with the adult female spending the majority of time with her young. The adult male typically lives by himself or in a loose all-male group, something similar to a bachelor pad. We are able to see the elephant flapping around its ears a little bit. They do that to reduce their body temperature, and they can cool themselves down by about 15 degrees whenever they flap their ears, their own personalized fan. Our local conservation team here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve found out that elephants are scared of the sound of bees. So we teamed up with our local farmers in Kenya, passed on this knowledge, and they started to plant beehives around the fences of their crops. Helped to scare away the elephants. They did not have to result to conflict of any kind. Elephants are just trying to find a new home. If theirs are being destroyed, it's increasing the amount of space that us humans and elephants have to share. We're going to be able to see a younger elephant over here on our left-hand side, everyone. It looks like the tusks are just coming through for that youngster. It looks like little vampire tusk. Leads me to guesstimate that elephants anywhere between 4 to 5 years old. It takes roughly about 15 years for an elephant to fully mature their tusk. Also guesstimating by its size, newborn baby elephants weigh anywhere from 200 to 250 pounds. Throughout the day, you'll usually find the elephants eating grass, hay, roots, and even tree bark, and they can consume about 300 to 500 pounds worth of food each and every day, which seems adequate, as the largest adult male that I have seen on this reserve weighs about 12,000 pounds. Elephants can also consume about 50 gallons worth of water each and every day. And contrary to popular belief, they do not use their trunk as a straw, but more or less as a cup. They grab water with their trunk to then throw it inside of their mouth. There's a lot closer, better view of this younger elephant. You get an excellent view of her prehensile trunk in action. It's basically a really long hand for her. Gets all the food or anything else that she really desires. Fling it around a little bit, make sure all the dirt is off of there. They're very intelligent animals. We are now going to be greeted by a flamboyance up ahead, which is a group of greater flamingos. And the flamingos get their coloration from their diet, consuming large amounts of brine shrimp, which is high in beta-carotene. A common question about the flamingos is why do they stand on one leg? And that's so they can regulate their body temperature a little bit better, as they do not really sweat. I can see one of them sleeping on top of the island at the moment. They'll sleep just like this, having their heads tucked back inside of their bodies. It's like their own little pillow. Alrighty everyone, there's a huge mud wallow in this next habitat, and it looks like some of that mud has been smeared around the fallen trees. It leads me to believe that we may be able to see a couple of white rhinoceros nearby. Rhinos love to play, almost bathe inside the mud. It's a natural sunblock for their sensitive skin. It's also a natural bug repellent for them as well. If you'll remember the black rhino that we saw earlier today, they are more solitary subspecies of rhinoceros, meaning that they like to live by themselves. The white rhinos are quite the opposite. They are very social. They love to live amongst one another. So if we see one, there's a pretty decent chance that we're going to be able to see a whole group. And a group of rhinos is called a crash. It's called a crash because rhinos have terrible eyesight. They can only see about 10 feet in front of them, but it does enhance their other senses, such as smelling and hearing. Lots of open space over here in this next habitat. And if we take a look laying down in the grass, there is a yellow coat. There's actually two of them. Sorry to get a better view. Those are two cheetahs. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal, reaching speeds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. And cheetahs are known for speed, not power. So they hunt during the day as they're outmatched by other big cats, such as lions and leopards. The tear marks that we see in a cheetah's face help to reflect the glare of the sunlight when they hunt. And their big tail sort of acts like a rudder on a boat. Helps them to keep balance whenever they move. They're hanging out right behind the fallen logs over there. There's also another one behind the tree. There's two more up ahead as well.
Right there.
And they're laying down in the dirt. A little bit tougher to see these two. A group of cheetahs is called a coalition. They are the only big cats that cannot roar, but what they lack in power, they definitely make up with their speed. Cheetahs can reach 60 miles an hour in just about 3 seconds. They had a pretty decent... Let's see if they'll do it again. Just trying to see who's the strongest. Maybe not. And these goats have excellent balance as well. Typically find them doing some parkour around here. As we can see, there's a bunch of little ladders for them so they can play, mess around, stay energetic. It's important to remember that us humans and animals can coexist with one another. These goats are a prime example of that, as the warden and the staff take very good care of them. Active for 16 to 20 hours of the day. If you add up and do the math, that means that they are only awake for about 3 years out of their entire lives. The adult male lion will typically stay back, protect the territory and the cubs, while the females will do the majority of the hunting, typically in a pack since their prey can be faster, sometimes even larger than them. Lions are the only members of the big cat family that do live together in a pack. We call it a pride. It looks like the male's starting to doze off a little bit now. Let's try to see if we can get a better view of the lion in his face. Looks like he's about to yawn. See those beautiful teeth. We're able to tell that that is an adult male lion because he has a mane. The mane on the adult male lion is actually what they use to help attract the females, and it helps to protect their neck while they're fighting against other rival lions for dominance. Us humans and lions have the same strength of vision during the day, but at night, a lion's vision is multiplied by 6. And when they vocalize, their powerful roar can be heard from about 5 miles away. We can see the size of the paw on that one female. They have enormous paws, excellent padding on those paws as well. Helps them to become silent while they stalk their prey at night. You can see the muscles on this female as she's starting to get up. We're definitely dealing with some powerful cats over here.
Oh, you look like